Finally. Now the inheritance is ours. Wait. What are you saying? It was right after her husband had a cardiac arrest in the hospital room. The tears that had begun to flow stopped. Everyone present was frozen. If you're getting the inheritance, then I want the high-rise condo. What? A high-rise condo is not suitable for your mother-in-law, right? That's why I'll take everything. Unable to bear the eldest son's wife's remarks, I retorted. However, she continued. Are you sane? Of course. Why give something like that to someone who might not even live much longer? How greedy can this woman be? I felt a rising desire to teach her a painful lesson. Then, I'll cut ties with you. Don't involve me in anything from now on, okay? That should be my line. Once I've taken what I can, I'll never involve you in my life again. How dare you? Seeing the eldest son's wife laughing loudly in the hospital room where her husband had passed away, she clenched her fists as hard as she could. Then, the younger son, unexpectedly, took action. My name is Susan. I was a civil servant working at the city hall, but I recently retired. Having worked for many years, I wanted to spend time with my husband. For this reason, we had purchased a high-rise condo in the suburbs thinking about our retirement. My husband, Ben, had retired 3 years ago. Mom, you've worked hard all this time. Here, take this. Flowers? Thank you, Matt. Now, take it easy with Dad. Maybe go on a trip, it would be nice, wouldn't it? That sounds good. We haven't gone on a trip in years. To celebrate my retirement, my eldest son, Matt, who had married 2 years ago and was still newly married. His wife, Katie, was a beauty who turned heads wherever she went. However, even before their marriage, she had made remarks that seemed to look down on those around her. I think Dad was looking at a travel magazine about Florida. Really? I haven't been there either, so that might be nice. I've been to Florida before, so if you decide to go, I can help you plan. Thank you. I'll take you up on that offer. My younger son, Ryan, worked at the same city hall as I did. He was still unmarried, preferring the freedom of being single. I had never explicitly asked him why he wasn't married, but it seemed he didn't get along with his brother's wife. Also today. By the way, where's sister-in-law? Oh. She said she had some plans. It seems that she was displeased that the eldest son didn't come with her. There had been times before when it seemed they might argue, so I was relieved that they weren't seeing each other. And so, my husband and I began planning the trip. So Ryan knew about it. He's been observant since he was a child. It wasn't something to hide, was it? Well, you don't really like hot places, do you? That's not entirely true. Well, as long as I'm with you, anywhere is fine. His casual remark made me smile. We had made perfect plans, and we were supposed to leave for Florida next week. I've been feeling sluggish lately. Didn't you say something similar last week? Did I? You should really go to the hospital. Until now, my husband had never been seriously ill, but he looked quite emaciated. I hoped it was nothing serious, but that hope was about to be dashed. The next day, he was scheduled for tests at a university hospital. The trip was postponed until the results came back. This concerns your future life, so please bring your family. When the doctor said that, I felt a tight grip around my heart. My husband and I were led to a separate room. The diagnosis, liver cancer. I was at a loss for words. However, there was hope. It's malignant, but fortunately, it was detected early. I think we can treat it effectively. Is that really true? You will need to come for regular visits. Is that so? My husband and I looked at each other and hugged. There had been happy moments before, but never had we felt such relief. I immediately arranged for my eldest son and his wife and my younger son to come home. That's good news. It's a shame about the trip, but treatment comes first. We can go on the trip after you're fully recovered. Sorry for worrying you. While everyone was happy, there was one person who wasn't. Katie, is something wrong? Huh? No, it's nothing. Really? You seemed a bit down to me. Not at all. I'm truly glad. But I could see that her words were not sincere. It wasn't the first time I had seen her like this. I remembered when she first came to greet us before her marriage. What are you working as now, Katie? I'm doing clerical work now. I see. Is there a problem? Oh. No, not at all. That's good then. You were a civil servant, right? I couldn't handle such troublesome work. You really are amazing. At that time, although she was smiling, I felt she was mocking me. This time, however, I couldn't tell what she was really thinking behind her facade. But that would soon become clear. It was when I returned from the bathroom. Never say such things in front of Mom and Dad, okay? As if I would say anything. Not yet. Their voices could be heard at the entrance. Curious about their conversation, I eavesdropped from around the corner of the hallway. Besides, who would have thought the cancer would be cured? It was because it was detected early this time. But I thought I was going to get my hands on your father's inheritance. What a pity. Hey, cut it out, will you? Yet, the eldest son's wife ignored his advice and continued. But there could be a time when it gets worse, right? Then it'll be my chance. I couldn't believe she was thinking such things. The idea that she had been thinking this way all along made me feel so sad I almost cried. Just as I was about to confront them, I felt a tap on my shoulder. Turning around, there stood my younger son. Now's not the time to go out there. But going out there will only cause chaos now, and besides, Big Brother is there. Let's focus on Dad for now. You're right. Supporting Dad is what's important now. I don't trust her, you know. I was concerned about the eldest son's wife, but I decided to focus on my husband as Ryan suggested. I thought it wouldn't turn into anything serious with the eldest son there. And it was when I was told there were only a few more hospital visits left. The words of the eldest son's wife became a reality. Actually, upon re-examination, we've found that it has spread to other parts as well. We will continue treatment, though. My mind went blank at those words. But it can be cured, right? At this stage, it's hard to say. How can this be? I had just resolved to support my husband. For a while, we watched as his condition gradually worsened. He started experiencing abdominal pain and jaundice began to appear all over his body. One afternoon. Could you call an ambulance? Understood. Not only had my husband vomited blood, but he had also lost consciousness. He was taken to the hospital and remained there. I contacted my eldest son immediately, but I don't remember what happened after that. I only came to my senses when my younger son spoke to me. Mom, how's Dad? I don't know yet. Seeing how weakly I responded, Ryan also looked worried. Soon after, the eldest son's family arrived at the hospital, but only the eldest son was present. Where is Katie? She's currently meeting with a friend. She should be on her way here. The words of the eldest son's wife flashed back to me. To think it would actually come to this. I felt my distrust for the eldest son's wife grow even stronger. Just as we were about to leave the hospital and go home. Is your husband still alive? Yes, somehow. I answered the eldest son's wife's question, but a question mark popped up in my head. Is it normal to ask if someone is still alive in such a way? What? I ran here for nothing. Sigh. The eldest son's wife muttered under her breath and even sighed. My anger reached its peak at her remark. What do you mean by ran here for nothing? I confronted the eldest son's wife. What's gotten into you suddenly? I'm asking about what you just said. Answer me. I didn't say anything. She completely denied it. Seeing her deny it outright only fueled my anger further. Then, the younger son intervened. Let's calm down. I managed to suppress my anger, but I was filled with frustration. Then, prompted by the younger son, the eldest son and his wife left. Why did you stop me? We're in front of the hospital, and it would bother other people, right? Let's go home for now. If you say so, I'll do that. It's okay. There will be another chance. What do you mean? Oh, and I've decided to come back home for a while. I'm worried about you, Mom. I didn't fully grasp what the younger son meant, but I was honestly happy about his suggestion to come back home. Being alone, I might have dwelt on unnecessary thoughts. And as the two of us began living together, an unexpected visitor arrived. What brings you here today? The person I least wanted to see at the moment, the eldest son's wife, had come to visit. I was rude the other day. I said something that upset you, didn't I? I'm really sorry. I wondered who this person was. I couldn't recall her ever being so polite before. However, I didn't feel bad about her apologizing. It's okay. I wasn't very mature either. That's why I came today to discuss something. Saying that, the eldest son's wife shared her troubles about wanting a child but being unable to conceive. Her earnest expression made me feel as though it was my own issue. So, what am I supposed to do? I'm thinking about starting fertility treatments. It will cost about $3,000 initially. Hearing that, I thought it was quite expensive. I was honestly hesitant, but her next words swayed my feelings even more. Of course, I don't think it's a small amount. But I really want to show your husband and you our child's face. I'll have to discuss it with my husband first, but... Of course. Thank you so much. After she pleaded, I felt compelled to help her. Later, when I visited the hospital to get my husband's permission, he also agreed with a smile. I immediately contacted the eldest son's wife to come over and handed her the money directly. Dad has given his permission, so go for it. Yes. Thank you. She thanked me and quickly left. Then, a week later, she was back asking for more. I'm sorry to ask again, but could I borrow some more money? How much do you need this time? I think $1,000 will be enough. They say lightning never strikes the same place twice, but there she was again without much delay. I had doubts about her frequent requests, perhaps numbed by my husband's condition. That's when the younger son, who had seen the exchange by chance, said, "She's borrowing money again? Isn't that odd?" And what? Never mind. But you should really ask what she's using it for the next time she comes. Got it. I will. The younger son seemed to have reservations about the eldest son's wife, but he didn't elaborate. After that, the eldest son's wife didn't show up to ask for money again. Just when I thought I might be able to show my husband his grandchild's face, my phone suddenly rang. It was the hospital. Your husband's condition has suddenly worsened. Can you come to the hospital immediately? I quickly called the eldest and younger sons and rushed to the hospital. When I entered the hospital room, I saw my husband connected to oxygen masks and ECG monitors. Can you hear me? I desperately called out to my husband. Even though he didn't respond, I kept calling his name over and over. Then, slowly, he opened his eyes and said just one thing. Thank you for everything. I'm counting on you from now on. After saying that, he slowly closed his eyes. A hollow beeping sound came from the ECG monitor. Just then, the door to the hospital room was flung open. The person who entered was the eldest son's wife. Finally. Now the inheritance is ours. That was the first thing she said. Wait. What are you saying? You're not even an heir. It was right after my husband had a cardiac arrest in the hospital room. The tears that had begun to flow stopped. Everyone present was frozen. I know that. But it's too good for you, Mother. I couldn't stand the eldest son's wife saying whatever she wanted right after my husband's death. If you're getting the inheritance, then I want the high-rise condo. What? A high-rise condo isn't suitable for you, mother, right? So I'll take everything. Are you sane? Of course. Why give something like that to someone who might not even live much longer? How greedy can this woman be? I felt a burning desire to make her suffer. Seeing the eldest son's wife laughing loudly in the hospital room where my husband had died, I clenched my fists as hard as I could. Then, I'm cutting ties with you. Don't involve me in anything from now on, okay? That should be my line. Once I've taken what I can, I'll never involve you in my life again. How dare you say that? Then, return all the money I gave you. I didn't miss the fleeting cloud over the eldest son's wife's face. Now that I think about it, I hadn't told the eldest son about that. Hey. What's this about money? I don't know anything. Seeing the opportunity, I continued. This person has been borrowing money from me and Dad, claiming it was for fertility treatments. Isn't that right? That is. Seemingly struck where it hurt, the eldest son's wife was suddenly at a loss for words. Explain properly. However, the eldest son's wife remained silent. Then, the younger son did something unexpected. Can I say something? What is it? I want you to see this. Saying that, the younger son pulled an envelope from his bag. What he took out were several photographs. What is this? Even the eldest son raised his voice in surprise. I certainly hadn't expected such a thing from the younger son. This is her true character. How can she not be ashamed of having an affair while Dad is in this condition? Then the eldest son's wife tried to deny it loudly. That's nonsense. You're just trying to frame me. You hated me, didn't you? Then the younger son sighed. I won't deny that I dislike you, but these photos were taken at my request. Plus, the man she's with is clearly identifiable. When did you do all this? She didn't just come to borrow money once, and I noticed more and more luxury items around. So, I had it checked out. Turns out she was cheating too. If you think it's not true, then deny it. You really did something unnecessary. Are you admitting it then? Yes. So what if I am? Seeing the eldest son's wife openly admit it, all I could do was sigh. And inside, I was giving myself a high five. The younger son's action was a masterstroke. Even I hadn't seen it coming. I thought she was going out a lot lately, but to think I didn't notice any of this. The eldest son seemed disappointed in himself. It's okay, bro. It's not too late. Well, what you do from here is up to you. Then the eldest son looked intensely at the photo of his wife arm in arm with a younger man and nodded as if he had made up his mind. I'm sorry, but it's going to be a divorce. I never thought you could be this terrible. Divorce. Are you serious? You're married to a beauty like me? How could she say such a thing at this point? The younger son and I could only exchange wry smiles. That doesn't matter now. I'm tired of being with you. You'll regret this. There's no way I will. Even the eldest son was beyond disbelief. Are you really going to abandon me? What? You're the one to talk. And I'll be seeking compensation, so be prepared. Realizing that arguing was futile, the eldest son's wife just looked down and remained silent. Then the younger son added more. Then I'll introduce you to a good lawyer. I couldn't help but find the situation somewhat amusing and decided to join in. And make sure to return the money you borrowed from us. I can't right now. That's not my problem. And since you're a nuisance, please leave right now. The eldest son's wife left the hospital room in tears. Later, the eldest son kicked her out immediately after returning home. Through a lawyer introduced by the younger son, the divorce was successfully finalized. One day, the eldest son's wife appeared at our home, looking disheveled and far from the beauty she once was. Can I at least return the borrowed money? When I saw her, I was shocked. It's too late for regrets now. It's all your fault. Mom's right. You need to work and pay it back. Sadly, there's nothing more I can do for you. Can you please leave? Please. Watching her plead, I felt nothing. To me, she was no longer family but a stranger. I ignored her and closed the front door. We arranged to have her repay the borrowed money in installments. Then the eldest son visited our home. I'm tired, maybe I'll move back in here. Why not? I was thinking of living at home more permanently too. What? 2 such big kids at home? A month later, the 3 of us started living together. Though my husband was no longer with us, having my wonderful sons around who cared for me was the greatest happiness. We planned to visit my husband's grave as a family soon.